Habits are the building blocks of life. The daily, repeated actions we take, often without thinking about them, that shape who we are and who we will become. So if you want to change your life, to live happier, healthier, it all starts with your habits. As James Clear puts it, success is the product of daily habits, not once-in-a-lifetime transformations. I've seen this play out in my life time and time again. So today, I want to share with you some of the daily habits that have truly changed my life. Sleep really does affect everything from our energy to our mood, our focus, even our recovery and the way that we show up for other people. And so while it's not always perfect, hello parenthood, making it a priority, even when it's difficult, has made such a difference for me. And so a good goal to aim for is, if you can, it's good to get at least 8 hours of sleep a night. But something that I found helpful is building some margin in for nights where maybe I have a harder time getting to sleep or I'm woken up in the middle of the night. So I'll usually allow 8.5 to 9 hours in bed with the hopes of getting 8 hours of sleep. And that way I'm prepared for it and my sleep isn't completely thrown off by nights where not everything goes to plan. So whatever season of life you're in, that's definitely something that I would recommend doing, is not just figuring out, okay, what's the minimum amount of sleep that I need to function to be at my best, but also how can you build margin in so that you're not operating on, okay, what is the minimum amount of sleep I need to feel like myself to be able to operate at full capacity, but instead you're really making rest a priority. One of my biggest non-negotiables these days is moving my body, but it hasn't always been this way. I've been on a journey with discovering my love of movement in the past few years, especially coming from a background where I didn't have a ton of regular exercise modeled for me growing up. And so before becoming a parent, I was making some great strides with just making movement a regular part of my daily and weekly routine. I was really excited and motivated by the progress I was making. And then of course, last year I became a parent, and let's be real, having a baby is a huge life change, not just in my schedule either. My body changed, my energy levels were impacted, even my mental headspace. I felt like I was starting over, and in a lot of ways I was. But I knew in the midst of that movement was something that I wanted to commit to, because I feel the difference mentally, emotionally, physically when I move my body versus don't. So I knew that in a sense I had to start over. My old routines just weren't going to work with a baby. They didn't fit my life anymore. I needed something new, but I also needed help, which is where Trainwell comes in, which big thank you to Trainwell for partnering with me on today's video. The thing is, I knew that if I just tried to cobble something together on my own, it just wasn't going to happen, especially with a baby. So Trainwell really has been such a game changer for me. It's a one-on-one personal training service designed to meet you where you're at. They customize everything to you, your goals, your lifestyle, your schedule, even the equipment that you have access to. So my trainer Jill, which shout out to her, she really is amazing, but she's worked so much with me to craft mom-friendly goals and workouts, even helping me figure out how to fit them into my daily routines so that I can get daily movement in now with a baby. And that's what I love about Trainwell too. It's not just about setting things up once and then disappearing. Jill checks in with me all the time with little reminders and encouragements to help keep me motivated to really prioritize movement. It's been so cool to see my strength coming back after having a baby, but more than that too, when I move my body, it just helps me feel like me. I have more energy, better focus, I sleep better. It helps me to show up as my best self for the people that I love. So let's take this time to do that now and get in a workout. Okay, feeling good. Glad that we got that in. It's been so cool having Trainwell evolve with me through the years. I've been using them for over 2 years now. It's helped me reach so many goals, from training for and running my first 5K to supporting my body during pregnancy, and now with practical at-home workouts that I can do with a baby. He's sleeping right now, but I do these all the time with him literally crawling all over me. So it really is, I'd say, the #1 thing that has made such a difference in making moving my body not just something that happens occasionally, but a part of my daily rhythms. Getting started with Trainwell is simple. All you need to do is fill out a short quiz that match you with your ideal trainer. From there, you'll get on a kickoff call where you can go over your goals, and then your trainer will craft a custom program for you. Whether you're brand new to fitness like I was 2 years ago when I started getting back into it, or maybe working out is already a daily habit, you just want to take things to the next level, Trainwell makes reaching your fitness goals feel not only doable, but exciting. I love not just seeing myself get stronger, but my form get better too. I love how the app it comes with shows you the form of whatever exercise that you're doing. And then if you have an Apple or Android watch, it can actually track your movements to give you feedback on your specific form, which has been so helpful. So if you want to get started with Trainwell today, you can take the quiz, find your perfect trainer, and get 14 days free using my link in the description box below. I worked from home for going on 6 years now, and if there's one thing that time has taught me, it's just how powerful it is to get ready every single day. Even if you're just staying at home, having a rest day, there's something about getting dressed, doing your hair or makeup, whatever your getting ready routine looks like. There's something about that signals to your brain, I'm showing up today, I'm valuing myself, I'm ready to focus, to be productive. It may sound silly, but there's a kind of magic to it. Now, having a child, I don't always have time to do anything really elaborate, nor do I always want to. So I like to follow the 2-3 rule. If you've never heard of it before, it's essentially as simple as you want to do 2 of the 3 of your outfit, your hair, and your makeup. If you do 2 of those, you'll look put together, and what I find more important is you'll feel it. It gives you a boost of confidence, motivation. I find really makes me feel ready for whatever the day has for me. It doesn't have to be complicated, just intentional. So for example, today I put on a cute, very easy outfit, took 5 minutes to do my makeup, and then just left my hair alone, and I'm really happy with that. Over the years, there are a lot of habits that have come and gone for me, but a handful of them have stood the test of time. One of those being spending daily time in reading or reflection. Taking time each day to ground and to center myself. Often I'll do this through reading either the Bible or a devotional, spending time in prayer, to give myself space to slow down, to gain perspective, and to stay centered. I'll usually try to do it in the morning to kind of set the tone for my day. I find that it adds so much clarity and calm. Now I will say, I have a 1-year-old, so when I can, I'll try to do this alone so that I can really focus. But sometimes quiet time for me does look like just sitting down for a moment with my coffee with a little 1-year-old causing chaos and wandering all around. Or sometimes it even looks like just taking a few minutes for myself in the car as I'm driving somewhere. For me, especially in a busy season of life, quiet time is far less about my surroundings and more about the internal orientation of my head and heart. What am I doing to slow down, to center, and to be still? Clutter and small messes in our home don't just impact our physical space, but our mental head stays as well. And so one habit that I like to practice, well, I used to do it daily, but now I find myself doing it multiple times a day, is a 5-minute reset. And whenever Oliver goes for a nap, we're winding down for the day, or even just I notice things are looking a bit messy, I'll spend maybe 5 to 10 minutes just going around our home, resetting everything, putting things back where they belong. Especially now having a 1-year-old who I swear can make more of a mess in 5 minutes than I do in an entire day. These mini resets really do go such long ways towards keeping the mess in check so that my home doesn't feel overwhelming. And yes, the reality that I have to accept about it is that my space will get messy again. But what I find is that by tackling things in small increments like this, it can help prevent things from ever truly getting out of hand. So that at the end of the day, the house isn't a complete disaster, and it just takes a few minutes to tidy up. And of course, if you don't have children, you might be able to get away with just 1 or 2 of these a day. But whatever your life looks like right now, I think that we can all benefit from using these resets to really foster a home environment that we can relax, to focus, and to be productive in. I haven't always had the healthiest relationship with food. In fact, I've spent the majority of my young adult years bouncing from one extreme to the next. Counting every calorie, chasing the latest fad diet, paleo, vegan, you name it, I've tried it. Food was always a source of anxiety for me, and I felt like if I wasn't eating perfectly, I was somehow failing. There's so much more with that we could get into. I'll save that for another video. But everything really changed for me when I stopped seeing food as something to control or to restrict, and instead as a gift to nourish me. That mindset shift was huge. It was healing. Food wasn't something to fear, it was something to be enjoyed. It was for my good. But of course, that mindset shift was just the first part of the process, right? In order to reinforce it, I needed to change my habits as well. So I'd say the first and probably the biggest thing that helped me was just to give myself grace, to not feel like I had to eat perfectly. The 80-20 rule very quickly became my guide. It's that idea that you want about 80% of the food that you consume to be very nutrient dense, and then the other 20% you just don't need to worry as much about. I also focused a lot on addition rather than subtraction. Wanting to eat healthy is a good goal, but I think all too often we start the conversation with, okay, you want to eat healthy, here's all the foods that you shouldn't have. But I feel like that almost gets it backward. I think instead a better, a healthier way of looking at it is, okay, here's what you should add to your diet. And in that way, you can almost crowd out less healthy foods by simply focusing on more whole, nutrient-dense options. I also found making simple swaps to be really helpful. Things like substituting Greek yogurt for sour cream in dressings, or sparkling water for diet sodas. And to be honest, with most of those swaps, I hardly even noticed the difference. And so these days, when it comes to nourishing my body, I like to keep my goals really simple. Right now, the only things I'm tracking are around how much water I'm consuming and protein. I love that I can use Trainwell's app to easily track them. I never need to tell my brain to do more. That seems to be its default state. My mind, my body are always seemingly working on overdrive, ticking off a seemingly endless list of tasks and to-dos. It can be really easy for me to get into that mode of just going from task to task to task. But something I've been learning and trying to remind myself of is that the to-do list can wait. No matter how much I get done, there will always be more to do. And there is no better use of my time than to be present with the people I love. So even on busy days, and be honest, if you're a parent, don't they all feel like busy days? I try to spend time giving my family, my baby, my husband, focused and undivided attention. Engaging with them, laughing, just being. I want to make my people feel loved and seen. I know they feel the difference, but for me as well, it helps keep me centered. And practicing presence reminds me that it's the people I love that really matter, not the things on my agenda. For years now, I've been on board team drink plenty of water because water really does support all of your body's basic functions. I stand by that, but in this past year of walking through pregnancy, postpartum, and breastfeeding, felt like I could never drink enough water to truly quench my thirst, even when I was drinking close to a gallon or more of water a day. I described that feeling one day to a friend and she just immediately responded to me, "Oh, you don't need more water, you need electrolytes." And that was such a game changer for me. Electrolytes help your body absorb and retain water more effectively than plain water alone, helping you to stay hydrated, to prevent cramps, reducing fatigue. When I started taking them regularly, I really did notice such a difference, especially when active, feeling dehydrated, or doing something as thirst-inducing as breastfeeding. I tell my friends all the time, I've never experienced anything quite like the breastfeeding thirst. And so if you drink plenty of water but still find that you always feel thirsty, I'd highly recommend trying electrolytes. I'd say I probably have them around once a day, usually sometime in the afternoon. They're a huge help. Albert Einstein has this quote that goes, "Look deep into nature, and then you will understand everything better." That's very much a reality I experience every time I step outside. Spending time in nature, even if just for a few minutes, is one of my favorite resets. There's nothing quite like fresh air, sunshine, and just being surrounded by something bigger than yourself to put everything into perspective, to clear your head and lift your mood. For From day to day, this can look like different things for me. Sometimes it's going on a walk, sometimes it's just drinking my coffee on our back porch, watering my flowers, playing in the yard. There's something about spending time outdoors that can completely shift the tone of hard days, or at least make a big difference. It makes the good days just that much better. We're also busy these days that it's easy to miss loved ones completely if we aren't intentional about making time for it. So something we do that really grounds our day is we always try to sit down for at least one meal together as a family. It doesn't have to be fancy, although we do try to make it something home cooked, even if that does sometimes mean leftovers. But it's that meaningful time to pause and to connect that really makes such a difference. There are no distractions, we don't do phones or TV at the table. It's a chance to slow down, to talk about our days, and to enjoy each other's presence. This is one of those things that I've always seen tremendous value in, but now having a son and as we've expanded our family, I prioritize it even more. Studies have shown that when kids grow up in a home where family meals are consumed regularly, they are more likely to be healthier, have better family relationships, and even improved grades in school. And so our family meals, usually it's dinner for us, are truly something that I look forward to and cherish. It helps us all feel more connected, present, and sets the tone for the kind of home that we want to foster, one where everyone feels seen, loved, and heard. Well, you've heard the healthy habits that have changed my life, but now I'd love to hear from you. What are the habits that have changed yours? Be sure to let me know in the comments below, and check out Train Well too if you haven't already. You can take the quiz, find your perfect trainer, and get 14 days of Train Well for free using the link in the description box below. That's everything I have for you in this one, so until next time, friends, thank you so much for watching, for being here, and I will see you all again very soon. Bye!